Namaste, dear listeners, and welcome to the AIWA channel, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality Astro in with Abhi, bringing in awareness with Abhi. Thank you so much for your positive feedback. Thank you for the consistency, and also thank you for sharing these podcasts with people that you think would benefit. Now, I am getting, positive feedback, and this really helps me produce more and more content. So I'm very excited to answer your questions. And we must remember that there is a huge backlog of questions that have already come through. So I will get to every question in time. I am just working on I'm looking at what questions are common. The ones that are most common, I'm answering first. Now, as we know, there are a lot of Tamilians, Hindu people, and I think it's also the Christian people that are going to go on some kind of a fast, I think. Also, in fact, there's a lot of people that are going on some kind of a fast and abstinence, depending on what your culture, um, guides you to do. You're doing, and the question arises, something like this here. I don't have it open, but if I can remember what I've seen. Hi, Abhi. Please, can you advise if I need to do charity to open up my way? Will this help me? Look, more or less on those lines. Now, I'm going to answer this question here. I'm going to answer it like this here: the benefits of charity. So I'm going to create the question as the benefits of charity, and from here you can take in what you can. To explain the benefits of charity, we must first understand what is charity. Charity, a loaf of bread to a starving child. Whether you meant to give that child that bread, or whether you never meant to give that child that bread from your heart, that child will eat that bread and get full. This is in the material dimension of existence. The child benefits from that. When we are giving, it's very easy to give off when we have. But true wealth is shown when you don't have and you find a way to provide to somebody that is seeking, even though you are also seeking. Because the pain is something that you can resonate with, and that pains you too much. You rather they have that and you are satisfied. Now, look, such kind of feeling is mostly felt in an empath. But generally speaking, charity can be broken down into many different things. And I'm going to explain them to you. Now, charity is giving a hungry child a loaf of bread or feeding a stray dog. These are very good acts of kindness. But what is a very brilliant act of kindness is where you as spirit, you are connected to that piece of life. And you are acting out because you're trying to understand what it feels like not to have that, and that pains you. Now, this is a different state of ecstasy that you're going to put yourself in. I can promise you, as a consequence of such just a simple act, it's not an external thing, it's an internal thing. Just putting yourself in that person's shoes. And then you assist. It will take you from an 8 to a 10. And who does that benefit? Well, it benefits both. It benefits the recipient and it benefits you. There's an exchange of energy. The universe works like that. That person will feel that positive energy from you. And for you, you've already risen up in frequency. You already know something without experiencing it in reality, but you have experienced it from a point of allowing yourself to feel. So it's an experience with you in your mind. It hasn't been an experience with you in reality, physically. But you know the feeling of it. and this will stay with you. Therefore, your act of kindness will be consistent. Now, with consistency, now this is where the true magic is. When you are consistent, it is not dependent on some major festival that's happening. It's not dependent because some guru have told you need to fast, or you need to give, you need to donate. It is coming from the consistent feeling that you have. You remember what it feels like not to have. This is awakening the empath in you. And once you awaken the empath in you, this is how you become a more profound human being. Because this is where you start to see the beauty of life. From feeling the pains of life in everybody else, you find the beauty in giving. Jai Shri Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Shri Krishna. Now, giving a man fish to eat is a very good act of kindness. But you can teach a man how to fish. This is a brilliant act of kindness. Now, teaching a man how to fish is definitely something that a lot of human beings today do not like to do. Because what if he finishes all the fishing and I don't have anything left? This is transferable in many industries. If I show him this year, he will do it, and what's going to be left for me? Therefore, this world is full of these kinds of people where they do not want to share their formulas. Now, the truest, for me personally, guys, remember this is awareness by Abhi. It's my awareness. The purest act of kindness is showing a person how to win in life. Listening to the person, being there for them, and teaching them how to, or actually, transmutation of energy. You are helping them to find the beauty in the chaos. And when you do that, you give them hope to live. You give them hope to create a better day or a better moment. They start reprogramming themselves. First, they start deprogramming themselves of all that negative crap that they've built up, and they start programming themselves with all the beauty in the chaos that they have now found. And once they program themselves with this beauty, they are only giving beauty after the world. Jai Shri Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Shri Krishna. This is charity. Charity can be seen in the material, but it also must be acknowledged in the spiritual. Transmutation of energy, which simply means helping a person come out from a negative situation into a positive situation. And this is a very beautiful way to put it. I've done a separate podcast on this year. Please make sure you look out for my podcast, The Transmutation of Energy, and you will understand more in depth what it means. But fundamentally, you rise in spirit in both when your acts are physically and also in spirit, in word and in thought. So make sure whatever it is you're doing it because it makes you feel good. You have connected to the pain, you feel it, and you don't want that person to feel that pain anymore. This is a higher state of vibration. And this is what you want for yourself and everybody around. Jai Shri Ram, thank you, dear listeners. Goodbye. And I will see you in my next podcast.